Hey, hello guys. Right, 2 weeks ago we started discussing the pricing issue. Okay, and 2 weeks ago we focused on the cost-based pricing, which we need to in which we need to set up the calculate the cost first and add up the certain level of the margin on sales on top of the cost. Okay, so as a result, we get the final price. Okay, so in the cost-based pricing, we need to calculate the cost first to decide the final pricing, to decide final price. Okay, but the value-based pricing is the other way around. Okay, instead of calculating the cost first, we need to find out the customer's perceived value on our product. Okay, and so actually their approach is actually the cost-based pricing and the value-based pricing has the starting point at the two opposite side. Okay, the identifying the customer's perceived value is the key concept, key in the value-based pricing. Their approach is quite different, as you see here. Yeah, right. So we can say that while the cost-based pricing is the product-driven and value-based pricing is customer-driven. And needless to say, in the marketing, we want to have a program which is customer-driven. So the value-based pricing is something we can recommend. Okay, I can contrast the two different type of the pricing with this these figures. Okay, in the cost-based pricing, like I said, you have to have the product. Okay, and when you make the product, you can calculate the cost. Okay, and on top of this cost, you can add on markup or margin on sales. Remember, those two words are different. Okay, two words also call the profit on top of the cost, but their percentage means different. Okay, actually the amount of the profit is different, although the percentage are same. Right, on top of the cost, we add markup or margin on sales. It leads to the price. Okay, and then people actually the customers see the price and they decide their value. If they decide it has the enough value, the customer purchase the product. Okay, in the value-based pricing, that is the other way around again. Okay, in the on most of the marketing program, we always wants to start from the customer. It's the value-based pricing starts from the customer. Okay, and we identify their value structure or their value perception on the product. Here you might be puzzled. Okay, in here it's like they started from the product. Okay, so maybe it is easier to calculate the cost. However, in this value-based pricing, hey, you cannot see the product. Then how can we identify the value? I mean, customers perceived value on our customers, right? You are right. We do not have the product yet in this process. What they have concept. Okay, the concept. Remember those the concept testing in the new product development. Okay, concept development and concept testing, that is the most important part in the new product development. That is what we said in the new product development session, right? So we suggest they presented those concepts. Okay, sometimes we actually give them some prototype, right? But usually we give them the written concept, okay, or description about the product. Then we ask like people, how much value do you see or do you perceive? Okay, so once we know that how much value they perceive, that becomes our product ceiling, which means that is the maximum value the customer wants to pay. So obviously we cannot set up the price higher than that, right? So this the customer's value perception act as the price ceiling, and it dictates our price range. Okay, and when we decide the price, okay, and we still want to make money, right? So based on the final price, okay, we decide how much cost we can pay for this product. Okay, so in other words, okay, we can adjust this cost level, in fact, okay, in most of the cases, right? Say if the customer value the certain product very high, then we can set up our price very high. It gives us a room to procure or to buy a high priced raw material, right? Or like a part, high priced part, to assemble it to make like a final product, right? Or if the customer's value perception on our product is not that high, then we cannot set up the price too high, right? Then we have to get the cost, we have to get the raw material or part accordingly, right? We maybe pick up some cheaper raw material or cheaper part to secure our profit. Okay, then finally we make the product. Okay, the one thing you really have to keep in mind is that most of the marketing, okay, performed before we even have a product. Okay, that is the key difference between one of the key differences between the sales and marketing. Okay, you have to think about all the marketing and make a decision about the marketing before you actually have the product. Okay, again, okay, this value-based pricing is more popular. I mean, the more recommended in the in terms of the marketing philosophy. Now the question is, which is more popular? Okay, cost-based pricing and value-based pricing. You think like a value pricing is like just like a fancy lip service, and not too many company is using the value-based pricing? You think so? You are wrong. All right. In fact, lots of good company, of big company, use value-based pricing. Okay. What we are teaching, what we are studying here, is not just about like just a textbook story. All right. This is what people actually doing in the company, right? Even I actually met like people from the Samsung and the LG, and when they choose the price or new product, and when I actually ask them how to set up the final price for the different model, they actually do the value pricing, right? So small company can do the cost-based pricing, and also there is some reason there is some area the cost-based pricing is very useful, because the cost-based pricing is like based on their say strict calculation, the price of the cost and what is our margin, and they can explain. If you use the cost-based pricing, you can fairly explain that this pricing calculation. Hey, just like what we did in the 2 weeks ago, right? Hey, this is our cost, and we want like a 20% margin on sales, and in the such a process, hey, we set up the cost like the price like this. Okay, sometimes we need to justify our price, okay, to the competitors or like legislator. As we discussed in the Black and Decker case, if we export the product to the foreign country, okay, sometimes the price can be very low, right? If if our price is lower than our price is lower in the foreign country than the price in the origin country, okay, they can sue us as a dumping, right? Then maybe we need to justify how we set up the cost that low, okay, for those other exporting goods, like we use a little bit cheaper cost, or maybe the product for the United States, for example, okay, say we actually make the product in the United States, and it save us like logistics or like some way somehow, okay, this is not true, but labor in the United States is cheaper than Korea. Yeah, this is not true. you know, you can try to justify or defend your pricing a lot easier if you use the cost-based pricing than value-based pricing. Okay, all right. So I'm not saying that the cost-based pricing is like something you shouldn't do. Sometimes cost-based pricing is useful. However, in terms of the marketing philosophy, okay, cost-driven marketing philosophy, the value-based pricing is the pricing strategy, or like uh, the the value-based pricing is a more recommended, okay, way to set up the final price, right? Okay, now this the value-based pricing key is like their customers' value perception, right? But like I said, right, the value perception is very subjective thing. Okay, it depends on customers. Okay, it depends on some irrationality of the customers. Okay, it depends on psychology of the customers. So if we say that we have to know the accounting or economics to understand this the cost-based pricing, we have to understand some psychology. Okay, if you want to pursue this the value-based pricing route. Okay, so let's study some psychology involved in the pricing. The first one is reference price. Reference price is like, I'm gonna give you an example. Hey, this is like a drinking water. Okay, so how much you gonna pay for this the drinking water? I need drinking water. 701. For those of you who are international students outside of the Korea, maybe you don't know how much you need to pay for the drinking water. Okay, we usually pay say 701 or 801 for the drinking water in the convenience store. If you go to the other say a supermarket or grocery, yeah, the price would be a little bit cheaper, like a 501. Okay, yeah. Say when I ask you, okay, when I ask you the price for the drinking water, okay, you might say that is say the 701. But just think about this, okay. What if like I charge, okay, the drinking water, this this drinking water at, I charge like say 2,001 for this drinking water. What you gonna say? Okay, you might gonna say that, hey, it is very expensive. Okay, that is lot more expensive, right? Just but when we say that expensive, okay, this like in Korean 비싸다. Okay, you guys, the international student, might need to know that the 비싸다, 비싸요. If you want to shop in the Namdaemun or Dongdaemun, that is too expensive. Okay, that is the first word you're gonna use to get into the price negotiation with the merchant in the market, right? So you want to say 비싸요, expensive. That is actually relative term. Okay, when you say that it is expensive, okay, you do have some reference in your mind. Okay, like this the drinking water. If I charge like 2,000 won, okay, you're gonna say that it is expensive because this one drinking water got to be 700 won, right? In your mind, that 701 is the reference price for the drinking water for you, for actually the most of people. Okay, so what can be a reference price? Reference price, there's lots of things can work as a reference price for you. Okay, maybe you do have like some fair price, right? So it should be like a 701 or something, some way, somehow. Or maybe the typical price, usually I pay 701 for the drinking water. So that's gonna be my reference price. Or last time I purchased like a samdasu, that is like a drinking water brand in Korea, in the 7-Eleven, I pay $700. So that's gonna be my reference, right? So lots of things can work as a reference price. Upper bound price. Upper bound price is the maximum price you can pay. All right. In other words, you can also call this one as a reservation price, 유보 가격 in Korean, all right, or low bound price, or a competitor charge $700. I'm sorry, competitor charge 701, but how dare you charge like 2,001? You can say so, right? So a competitor's price can work as a reference price, or sometimes expected future price can work as a reference price. They say that the Chanel is going to continuously increase their handbag price over years, right? Then they're gonna say that, hey, this handbag is 5,000 won. However, it's gonna be 6,000. I'm sorry, not one. The Chanel bag is $6,000, but in the next year it's gonna be $7,000 or something like that. All right, then $7,000 can work as your reference price, and comparing with $7,000, hey, this $6,000 bag is $1,000 cheaper, in fact, right? So you can have like a future expected price as your reference dollar. And this one, usual discounted price, that is actually very important. Okay, this is the one disadvantage. Actually, the biggest disadvantage of too frequent price cut. If you cut the price, okay, too frequently, for example, suppose the actual price, sticker price, okay, actual price is 1,001 for this drinking water, but the retailer keep discounting this drinking water by 300. Okay, that is why you purchase this drinking water at 701 frequently, continuously. Whenever you go to the store, this drinking water is always on the price cut or deal, right? So although this original regular price is 1,001, actually you pay 701 almost every time you go to the store. Then the discounted price becomes your reference price. So when they suddenly, okay, retailer decided go back to the original price, which is 1,001, okay, all of the customer is going to say, hey, that's expensive. How could it be expensive? Because we are charging the original price, because you cut the price too frequently. Those discounted price already become the customer's reference price. Okay, right? That is kind of customer price is so, well, I have to say that customers going to be spoiled by the discounted price. Okay, so you don't need to do the too frequent price cut. That actually work negatively on your brand equity, obviously, and that also negatively negative impact on your long-term profitability. Okay, all right, that is the reference price. And the next one is price quality inference. What is the price quality inference? Price quality inference is like we can say this word. Ever heard of like people saying that price is quality of the signal? Ever heard of this kind of word? Okay. Never heard of this kind of phrase. Price is signal for the quality, which means that, okay, if the price is high, okay, which means that the quality is also good. Price is low, the quality is not so good. That is the price is the signal for the quality. How many of you actually believe this? Anybody? Let me tell you a story. Okay, like I told you about this, right? The best answer in the marketing, or like all of the business discipline, is that it depends. Okay, if somebody asked me like whether I trust price quality inference or not, I'm gonna say it depends. Okay, it depends on what. Before I say so, okay, let me tell you a story. I usually, okay, for the computer, okay, suppose that, well, I'm not a computer expert, but I know something about the computer, right? Say that I know that what is the I know the good graphic card, good sound card, and the RAM size, the hard disk drive size of the hard disk drive. I want to have like at least like a 2 tera or 3 tera. I want bigger size. Okay, yeah, I do have some computer. Do have some knowledge about the computer. So if the even if like I goes to the Yongsan, okay, when they actually show me the spec, right, the what's in there, speculation, specification. I mean, say I have the specification of the part in the computer. I can do the calculation, and they say that hey, that is a 2 million, 1 million won. Then I do the calculation. So after I finished my calculation, I might say that hey, I think like a 1 million won for this computer is actually good. It has the good graphic card, the good sound card, and the RAM size is okay. And they have a big hard disk. 1 million won can be okay. I do that, all right? So I do the calculation. If that is the case, okay, even if like that the computer vendor sell it like a 600,000 won, okay, where if the speculation, I mean specification is good, now I'm gonna buy it. I'm not going to say that hey, this 6,000 won is like a way too cheap. It must have like a junk part in there. I'm not going to say that because I have knowledge. I can decide the value of the computer by myself. Okay. However, let me tell you another story. Okay, I'm not a wine drinker. Okay, I don't really understand why people drink wine. I know it's like some people. I know that there is like a French student. I don't like wine, right? Because the wine always, especially red wine. Red wine always gives me the headache. I heard that. Okay, the grapes, the red grapes. Okay, all right, not uh, the grapes used for the white wine. Okay, the grapes for use the grape which is used to make the red wine. They easily go rotten or something. All right. So they said people say that the red wine use the preservative in there. Okay, that is why I have like uh, headache whenever, not whenever. Okay, highly likely I have the headache when I drink the red wine. White wine is okay. Okay, Sauvignon Blanc, I like it. Chardonnay, I like Sauvignon Blanc. I like you know, the scent of the wine, the Sauvignon Blanc. Anyway, I don't. I'm not wine expert at all. Okay, I'm a whiskey drinker. Yeah, I do like whiskey. Um, you know, but last time, okay, I went to the so I went to the outside of Korea, okay, and I went to the Singapore and United States in the last couple of years ago. And my friends, okay, it is not my friends, it is my senior professor there in this department, okay. He helped me a lot, okay, to get into this school, okay, and he actually asked me to buy good wine, okay, in the duty free shop. He's a wine holic, okay. He's a wine collector, okay, something like that, right? So he asked me to purchase like a one wine. He knows that I'm not drinking wine, so I just like drink the wine for him. Okay, he says like, hey, he's going to pay me, right? But since he helped me a lot, I just wanted to the give him a wine as a gift. Okay, so when I come back to the Korea, I dropped by the duty free shop. There's a tons of wine in the Singapore, right? More wine than in Korea, right? Wow. The problem is, right? I have no knowledge about the wine. Okay, he's a senior professor, and I don't want to embarrass him. But I don't want to embarrass him and myself uh, by giving him a crappy wine, right? But I do not have any knowledge to choose good wine in there. Okay, then have a guess what kind of wine What kind of wine do you think I purchased? Yes, I purchased expensive wine. Okay, that is the only thing I could do. Just think about this. Okay, we usually work like this. Okay, more generally, price quality inference works. Works more. I have to say, price quality inference works more in the some area where customers do not have knowledge. Okay, hey, when the customer wants to make a decision, they need to process the information. But when the customer do not have knowledge, they cannot actually access to the information. Or even if they can access to the information, they say that is like all the chateau name or like a domain, all the French word. But I can access to that information, but I cannot process it because I do not have knowledge in there, or a vintage, what year, or what chateau, what domain is better. I do not have that kind of knowledge. All right. So either you cannot access to the information, or if you cannot process that information, then the only information you can access and process is price. You know the price, which means that you can access to the information because you know the price, and you can process that information because you know $100 is like a cheaper than $200, something like that. Okay, so when you do not have the information, nor the knowledge, then price information about the price is the only available information you can process. If that is the case, the price quality inference becomes very, very strong. Okay, not always, but in those areas it works fine. All right. And price ending and price queue, I'm gonna actually combine this one with this example. There is so-called left to right pricing, 299 versus 300. Okay, say $299. Actually, the textbook actually used this one as a LASIK surgery. I didn't know that LASIK surgery is this cheap. That I thought like that is way more expensive than this, right? No. But anyway, right? Say 299 LASIK surgery, that LASIK surgery on your eye. Okay, LASIK surgery. 300, 299. As the 300 is like some error in the 300. Okay, but it's still, although the monetary difference, the dollar value difference is only $1, people actually perceive the 299 as like some area in the 200. Okay, that is stupid. But in fact, we have to admit that we actually perceive this way. Okay, that is what we call left to right pricing. The leftmost number is the most important number. Okay, since it is 2 and it is 3, this 299 sounds a lot cheaper than that. Okay, usually, okay, when the price ends with odd number 9, odd number whole, okay, people actually perceive that as a discounted price. It is cheaper. Okay, and people actually perceive less cost. Okay, when the price ends with odd number. Okay, so in the United States, like I think like it is same in the Korea. Okay, when you go to the home shopping, all right. Say in the United States, right? They said that instead of like the certain product is the price for the certain product is like $100, they would say that okay, 5 easy payment of $19.99. Instead of saying $100, they say that pay $19.99 5 times. Okay, five payment of the $19.99 is actually the $99.95. It is only $5 cents difference, but it perceived way cheaper than $100. Okay, and also in the United States, the reason they say that 1999 it is the most popularly used bill is the $20 bill. So they're saying that hey, it is less than one payment is less than $20 bill. Okay, that is why actually they are doing 5 easy payment of 1999 instead of saying 100. Okay, but you don't really want to do that in the Chanel store or like a Prada store. Okay, for example, say the one Chanel bag is pricing like a $5,000. Do you think like they do the hey the price is like a $4,999? They don't do that. Okay, this the discount image is actually cheaper product image. Okay, Chanel is not product like that. Okay, they go with say even number or zero or like well sometimes they usually end up with zero, not just like the even number. Okay, now zero sometimes five, right? So I for the say luxurious product, okay, so you don't do the left to right pricing. Okay, usually, okay, so I when we actually discern the odd number and odd number is like a discount perception, okay, and even number is like more like a value perception. Okay, but this one is actually controversy that this research is done in the United States, but I'm not sure that this can be expanded to the Asian country too. Okay, and when the at least like if you want to keep your brand image, right, you choose either zero or five. Okay, if your product is like a say luxurious product, okay, you don't go with like a three or like a seven or something like that. That is just like in between. All right, okay. And also but by the way, this the all the digit in the price actually work as a price Q, right? Some small, okay, Q to boost up the price, okay. And also the sales tag written next to the price, this one also work as a price Q. Means that the sales tag is something like ever seen this one? Sales tag, okay. Even if like you set up you listed original price, okay, but if you put like a sale tag in there, okay, people think like that is discounted. People actually perceive it as a deal, okay, so they actually purchase that product. I think that is a borderline fraud, by the way, right? I don't really like this, but as a customer, but this is actually what it is, right? Why this kind of the putting just putting the sales tag with the original price works? Because not too many people actually knows the original price. Probably you know that you think like you know the original price or regular price for the all the things. Yes, you know actually the ordinary regular price for the drinking water. But you know what? We actually said that this one is 701 or like a 801, right? But do you think like you can purchase this one at 701? No, it is not. Hey, come on, this is you see here. Hey, this is like the Canadian, this one, Canadian glacier drinking water Whistler. It cost about 2,001 in fact. Okay, but somehow I purchased that, right? And you didn't know that this one cost the 2,001 because you never purchased this one before, right? I tell you what, the taste difference, nothing. Right? Don't buy this one. I just like this the design of container. I like this color, by the way. I have one box over there. If you buy the glacier water in box, okay, still then you can actually purchase a little bit lower price. Anyway, all right. If you only know the price information on the product you frequently purchase, let me ask you again, right? Hey, this is like a pesticide, not insect, not pesticide, the insecticide, like high killer, that insecticide, okay, F killer, kind of thing in Korea. right? How much do you think? You know how much it is? And by the way, this one is the Dettol. Dettol is the European brand, right? So European exchange students might know about this product. Okay, there's a Korean word Dettol. Dettol. How much is it? Do you know it? If I, okay, put, say, if I list the price as a 2,000, I mean 2,000, 2,500, okay, with a sales tag, do you think you wanna buy this? Hey, this summer is coming. You might need this for your home or one room, okay? So you see that exactly same the insecticide with the price to 2,500 with a sales tag in there. You wanna buy it? Hey, 2,500 doesn't sound too expensive, right? So if you have see the sales tag, okay, buy this the product, then you might think like, hey, this is a discounted price. But you know, the original price over here, as you see, yes, 판매 가격 2,001. 나 손을 떨지. 2,001, right? So original price is 2,001. In fact, 2,500 is actually higher than original price. But probably you want to buy it because you see the sales tag. How about this one? Hey, you have some information. This can, okay, pesticide, insecticide is like 2,001. How much will it be? That's all. Disinfectant. You think like this one is like more expensive than the insecticide? How much? This one is in fact like a 6,000 won. Yeah, in fact 6,000, 6,500. It's way more expensive than this, don't you think so? Right? See, I just want to say that you do not have the information about the price for the lots of product, especially when the customer purchase item frequently. I don't think like you frequently purchase this the Dettol or like insecticide. Okay, or customers are completely new. Hey, for the international students, okay, if you are the new customers in Korea. Okay, you do not have the actually reference price, right, in Korea. Right? Maybe you do have like a price information in your home country. However, hey, the price will be different across the different country. Okay, you are new customers and you do not have any idea about what is the regular price for the say Dettol in Korea. Okay, okay. For those kind of customers, this sales tag work perfectly. Or product design vary over time. All right, say you know the design actually doesn't matter. I think that doesn't matter for those that tall or like insecticide. But what if like say clothes? Okay, different design is everything. Okay, although the manufacturing cost or like the design is slightly better. So original price is like the same. If you put like a sales tag, you feel like it is discounted. Or price varies seasonally. Or the quality or size vary across the store. Okay, what is the commonality about all of these conditions? Again, the lack of information. Okay, when the customers lacks in the information about the price, okay, this sales tag works better. Okay, sounds like a fraud, but that's what it is. Right? Okay. All right, now let's move on to the say pricing strategy. Okay, the first one in the say let's talk about the new product first. Okay, when you enter the market with a new product, you can choose two type of the pricing. The first one is market skimming. Okay, skimming, this word actually comes from the skim the milk. Okay, when you want to, if you want to make like a cream, right, in the traditional way, I think is like you pour the milk in the say leather bag and you stir like hair, then the cream or butter is float onto the top of the milk and you skim it, right, you skim the cream, right, that is the skimming. So the milk without that cream part, that is called the skim milk, right? In fact, that is an inferior product, I have to say. But in the United States, or that the skimmed milk actually sold in the same price. That is really good thing for the manufacturers, right? Because like after they skim the butter or cream, okay, they actually sell that cream or butter on top of the milk as a separate price. Okay, this one is really good news for the if people like the skim milk at the same price. That is like the dairy manufacturers. Okay, dairy manufacturers is gonna be very happy about it. Anyway, we do have in Korea. We also do have like a 2% or like a skim milk in our grocery. Well, I don't really like that. Right? I think like that is stupid. I'm sorry. But anyway, the market skimming pricing is like we only focus on the the say the only small portion of the customers who are willing to pay for the high price. Basically, the market skimming price is like setting the initial price very high and gradually lower the price. Okay, but for some IT product, okay, the company actually use the skimming pricing. Okay, when we can use the market skimming pricing, the price quality, product quality, and the image must support the price, which means that since we are charging high price, okay, we need to have like the product which has expensive image. Otherwise, why people do you think like pay for that kind of garbage like a cheaper looking product? Okay, why do you think like the people pay high price for the cheaper looking product? No, right? So the product quality and image must support the price. Okay, or it shouldn't be too high. You still have a certain number of customer or buyer who can pay for the product, who can pay for the price. Okay, who can pay for the product, who can pay the price for the product. What am I doing now? All right, it's time to. Okay. Also, just to think about it, right? Say the last time we actually talk about the experience curve, right? What is the experience curve? If you produce more number of product, okay, then actually it decrease the fixed cost allocation. So if you make like more number of product, the fixed cost per unit, okay, fixed cost per unit decrease, because if you make a fixed cost is a fixed, and if you make like a more number of the product, your denominator is getting bigger and bigger. So fixed cost per unit decrease if you make like a more number of product. Okay, so if you're targeting only small portion of the customers, okay, which means that your sales volume is gonna be low. If your sales volume is gonna be low, if your sales volume is low, okay, the fixed cost per unit is actually high, which means that your cost is going to be high. Which means what? Even if like your charging price is high, your cost is also high. Your profit sometimes, okay, it's not gonna be enough, because even if like you have a high price, your cost is also high, right? So you end up with low profit. Okay, that is, you need to think about that. That is the case, all right, or not. All right. Another disadvantage of the market skimming price is like when you charge a higher price, it opens huge gate for your competitors to get into the market at the lower price. We call it the competitor can undercut your product at lower price. Okay, I'm keep actually mumbling the product and pricing. All right. The next one, actually, the opposite concept is the market penetration pricing. This is the this is the pricing in which you set up the price very low in the initial price, okay, as an initial price, but you continuously increase the price later on. That is market penetration pricing. If you need to have the large customer pool when you introduce your product, okay, this works better, right? For example, there's like a Kakao Talk, okay, a messenger service. Downloading messenger service is free, right? Okay, let's just think about this the messenger service. Okay, if you are only one who use the Kakao Talk, okay, the Kakao Talk is useless. Okay, if only 2 people in the world use the Kakao Talk, again, okay, the value of the Kakao Talk is like very trivial, right? That is, we don't actually call it messenger if only 2 people in the world use, right? So the value of the messenger service is like the more and more people use the same messenger, the value of the messenger service is going to increase. Okay, in this case, okay, the key is like acquiring, okay, a large number of customer in the initial stage. How can we charge the price? If you want to acquire a large number of customer in the initial case, okay, you have to sell it at free, right? You shouldn't charge the price. But later on, KakaoTalk add on some service, okay, say some banking service, or like they sell the emoticon. They do have like a profit generating service later on, okay. That is like one example of the market penetration pricing, okay. It works if your market is price sensitive market, okay. And they also in the market penetration pricing, okay, so it has the inverse relationship, or like a production or distribution cost to the sales growth, okay. You got for in terms of the learning curve, okay, like I said, okay, if you make like a large number of product, okay, you can actually lower the cost, okay. So even if like this is contrary to the skimming pricing, okay, if you use the penetration pricing, okay, your sales volume tends to be high, right? Since your sales volume is high, okay, the denominator is low in the to calculate the fixed cost per unit, okay. So the the denominator is getting bigger to calculate the fixed cost per unit. So the denominator, I mean the fixed cost per unit is going to decrease when we increase the production volume, right? Which means what? Okay, if you decrease the pricing, if you decrease the price, your volume increase, it also decrease the fixed cost per unit. It leads to your entire production cost decrease. So even if like you decrease the price, okay, you can secure certain level of profit because you also have lower cost. That is based on say learning curve. Okay, that is the philosophy about like selling. You know, that is the philosophy behind getting the profit by volume. In Korean, we call it 방리 담에. All right. So another benefit of the penetration pricing is, like I said, this is opposite to the market skimming pricing. So if you set up the low, if you keep the price at low level, okay, you cannot actually deter the entry of your competitors. Okay, they cannot enter the market easily. All right. All right. That's okay. That is only definition for the two pricing strategy for the new product. Okay. Let's move on to the more general pricing strategy, not just about the new product. Okay, that's okay. First thing we can discuss as a pricing strategy is the price line product line pricing. I'm sorry, I keep getting mumbled about between product and pricing. Okay, the product line pricing. As we we already discussed this the product line when we talk about the product. Okay, a couple of weeks ago. So there is no company which makes the only single product. Okay, so they classified, okay, they classified the like a multiple number of product based on their similarity. Okay, so that which compose the product line. In the product line, okay, we have like a similar product in the line, right? The um, so when you make the product, when you make the product and when you set up the pricing, you need to think about the other price, the price for the other product in the product line. Okay, which means that another product, another price of the product can have impact on your target product. That is product line pricing. Let me give you an example. Pen, control pen, right? Suppose, okay, we have like a Toyota Camry, okay, Toyota Camry, which is the most popular, one of the most popular car in the world, right? Say, I never understand why they call the trim level like this. The cheapest Toyota Camry is like a L, okay. The next one is like a SE, right? And the top level is like say XLE. Yeah, I don't know why, but they actually call this one. Okay, the price is gonna be around like a L is like a okay. For example, this is not exact like the price, and 23,000. Okay, let me put K over here. The SE is like a 25K. Okay, and the XLE is like a 28K. Okay, suppose the price line, okay, the price point, each one, this one is called the price point. Okay, price point for the Camry line, this is Camry, is like this. Okay, suppose, okay, you are introducing the Lexus. Okay, Lexus also have like three, let's suppose three trim model L, okay, SE, okay, it might be different like this, but let's suppose their trim level, trim model name is like L, SE, and XLE. This is in fact, okay, they gonna say that the XLE is gonna be like a 3,000, say, suppose, okay, the 3,005K, okay, this is like a 3,003K or something like this, right? They want to have this one as a 3,001K. However, the I mean 35K, okay, 33K and 31K, and 31,000. Okay, it's like a 31K, right? They initially they think like they want to set up the price for the Lexus like this. Okay, however, okay, they are they are entering the luxury car market for the first time. The Camry is the most popular, the most popular car, the best-selling car in the mid-size sedan. However, in the luxury car, where the Mercedes and the BMW, it has like a huge brand equity. Okay, the entering that luxury car market is kind of like a difficult task for the Toyota. Okay, one way they actually penetrate the luxury car market is actually lowering the lowest trim model just a little bit. Say for example, although so they want to set it up like a 31K, what if like they just like stretching down over here, okay, and they make the error this they just want what if like they set up the price for the L model as like a 29K like this. Then okay, this Lexus L trim model is just like only $1,000 more, $1,000 higher than the Camry's most expensive model. Okay, we all know that there's a lot of customer around over here, right? Say for the people who used to ride the Camry XLE. By the way, there's a huge number of the customer actually purchase this model. If they pay only $1,000 more, they can buy the Lexus. Okay, so by stretching their price point just a little bit lower, the Lexus actually can borrow or like steal the customers from their existing model. Okay, to facilitate to entering the high-end market a little bit better. Okay, that is the price point, the price line. Okay, but this kind of tactic has a downside, right? What is that? Okay, when you lower the price for the lowest model for the Lexus, okay, then you can upgrade, I have to say, upgrade the people who purchase the Camry XLE model to the Lexus model. Okay, however, what is the downside? You have like lower sales for this model. In fact, it is like a Lexus L model is eating up, okay, the Camry's XLE model. Okay, so new product is hurting the market share or sales of the existing model. We call this one as a cannibalization. Cannibalization. Whenever you introduce the new product to the market, this is the one thing you need to consider. Okay, new product is supposed to compete with your competing brand. However, what if like my new product compete with my old model? This problem is like even become more severe, more serious if you want to keep your old model too. Just to think about this. Starbucks is like selling coffee in their coffee shop. Okay, it's an offline store. All right. What if like the Starbucks introduced the VR, the stick coffee, right? Like a canoe in Korea, right? So if you sell the VR, okay, people might not go to the Starbucks store. Right? They just like purchase a bunch of the beer and they just like make coffee in his office or in their home. If that happens, okay, you might expect like a serious decrease in the sales of the Starbucks restaurant. I mean Starbucks coffee shop. That is cannibalization. Okay, but result shows that the cannibalization is ignorable because the two purchase incidents is quite different. People, the purchase incidents or like a purchase situation is different for the Starbucks coffee shop and the VR. Okay, the VR is like it's still working because like hey, I'm stick in my office like around like 11 p.m. All right, I cannot go to the Starbucks restaurant, I mean Starbucks coffee shop because it is already closed. Okay? Maybe the VR can fill in they might need for the coffee like in the late night or something like that. Okay, so it turns out that the VR and the Starbucks original Starbucks coffee, or like with the also about like the Starbucks in the bottle in the grocery store, I mean in the convenience store, their purchase incidence is not quite overlapped. Okay, the purchase incidence or situation is not overlapped, then you cannot worry about cannibalization. However, if the purchase incidence is like a completely overlap, hey, just like like a Camry or Lexus, okay, they purchased this car for almost like the same purpose. Okay, in this kind of situation, yes, there's gonna be cannibalization, obviously. Actually, the Lexus took the cannibalization to boost up the sales for the Lexus. But they have like a room to do that because like they have like huge customers in Camry, okay, promoting, okay, to the Camry customer to the Lexus. That is what they actually that is what they want, okay, for the long term profit. They are basically selling higher price to the exactly same people. Why could it be bad, right? Right. That is the say price line, price line pricing. I'm sorry, no, it's killing me. This is the example of product line pricing. Gosh, that is like almost like a tongue twist, like a see he he's this is like a she saw seashell and something like that, right? Okay, let me give you another example, for the product line pricing. Suppose you have a product like yeah, let me have another prop in my office. I'm gonna use like a last all the my office supplies as a prop. Hey, this is what this is a Xiaomi battery. Okay, suppose the Xiaomi, suppose, okay, this is the example, okay, not real. Suppose the Xiaomi is like selling two type of the battery. One has like this one has what, okay, one has the 50k 50k ampere, 50k ampere, okay, and product B has like 100k. I'm sorry, gosh, that says 5k ampere. I just wanted to make like a as real example as possible. Okay, this is the 10k, 10,000 man ampere. Okay, ampere. This is 10k ampere. This is 5k ampere. Okay, let's suppose the price for the 5k ampere is like suppose that is like a Oman won. Okay, 50 50,000 won in Korean, okay, Oman won. This is equivalent, like equivalent to the $50, I mean $45, okay. This one is like 100k won, Korean won, okay. So you can click over here. So they have like a model number A and model number B. Okay, and if but suddenly some way somehow, okay, some way somehow, this the product, okay, this the model B is not selling. Lots of people actually purchase this the product A, but not too many people actually purchase the product B. This is actually the price and the quality, okay, the capacity is like a proportional, right? It's actually proportional. But a lot of people actually purchase this one. Suppose, okay, that is not true. Okay, how can we in this situation? How can we boost up? How can we increase sales for the product B? 10k ampere at like 100k won. If you okay, one way to do that is like if you introduce the third example, which is like 12k ampere, 12k ampere at oh gosh, like 150K. And the point is gonna be about over here. Let's put it as like a C. Then people actually compare that. Okay, it looks like a 5K ampere is like a 50K one, and 10K ampere is like a 10K one. But the product C, their ampere is like only bigger by 2K. However, the price is like even more. Price is like 50K more expensive than the product B. Okay. When you enter this the model C, okay, it makes the model number B lot cheaper than before. People feel that way. Okay, this is like off promotion basically. Okay, this is like off proportion off proportion point. Okay, this is like a way more expensive than the product B. Okay, when the customer is actually compare, the customers are exposed to the line of the product, not a single product. Okay, they will consider product A and B and C. Okay, and the product C looks like a way more expensive than product B. That makes the product B more affordable, which has like a better value than product C. If you put this product C, it increase the sales for the product B. You know what I mean? Okay. Then why we enter this? Why we just like introduce the model number C? Hey, that is decoy. Decoy. We don't want to sell the model number C in the first place. Okay. The fate or role or purpose of the product C is like just helping the sales for the product B. That is what it is. Okay, so that is decoy. We don't really care about the sales for the product C. Okay, as long as it helps product B, the sales for the product B increase. Okay, this is the example of the product line pricing. Okay, we actually do lots of things. Okay, lots of things about the product line pricing. Because since this is like a introduction class, all right, so we just like stop over here. All right. Okay, let me move on. Do I have to go back? Okay, all right. The second one is the optional product pricing. The optional product pricing is like we present, okay, the product as a basic model. Okay, but we give the option to the customers for another feature for the product. Feature you can add on to the product. Okay, at the more price, extra price, something like this. Okay, you can sell the car. Okay, let's move on. You can sell the car at like a base car. The base model. You can sell the car base model as like a 20K, 20,000, okay, $20,000 USD. Okay, but if you need like a automatic transmitter, automatic transmission, you need to pay like $1,000 more. Okay, if you want like an air conditioner, okay, you need to pay $1,000 more. If you need like a leather seat, okay, you need to pay $1,000 more. That is the optional pricing. Okay, so if the people who does not want to pay high price for the car, well, they can still purchase the base model like this without paying $3,000. Okay, but so people actually thought this kind of presentation and presenting the base model with some extra feature like this, people thought that is like that works well for the price sensitive people. However, research shows different story. Okay, let me share the result of the some psychological experiment. Suppose that, okay, I'm gonna give you two pizza A and pizza B. Right, P A. One pizza is over here. Pizza B. Oh gosh. Okay, one difference is like in the pizza A, okay, we showed it a pizza with all the toppings. Okay, yeah, some toppings. All right. So I says that there's a combination combo. We call it, okay. So that I don't want to write it many things to many characters. We call it combo pizza $20. Combo pizza $20. Combo pizza has 5 toppings. Okay. I don't need to write topping, right? 5T. Okay. Combo pizza with 5 topping is $20. Pizza B is just like a plain pizza. Plain cheese pizza. $10. But you list up, okay, extra topping for $2. Okay, suppose we have like a two-way to present this pizza. One pizza number A is like a presenting, okay, combination pizza, okay, with 5 topping at $20. The other way to present this pizza is like we just like present, okay, 10 pizza. I'm sorry, the plain cheese pizza. And we also say that you list up the whatever topping, okay, what is like pepperoni, the pineapple, whatever topping, list the 5 top, list your 5 topping over here, okay, and you say that extra topping charge $2. So if you need all the $5, it's gonna be same as like a pizza number 1. Pizza A, right? So we have like suppose that we have an experiment, okay? Say and choose that how many of you prefer, who prefer pizza number A and pizza number B or something like that, okay? Like oh, then we ask like a question. We give like a money to the customer, the subject, and we have like a 2 different presentation. And this is like a group number A. Okay, we ask like a group number A like 100 people. Okay, and to the group number B, we actually show the pizza number B. Okay, another 100 people. Okay, here's a question: which pizza has more topping in average? In which group of people, group number A and group number B, which group prefer more topping on the pizza? Let me give you some time to think about it while I'm sipping my tea. Can you guess? Again, pizza number A, for the 100 people in the group number A, we present combination pizza with 5 topping, okay, and we ask like it's a $20. Yeah, and if you do not need topping, okay, we're gonna give like a $2 back. Okay, if you delete or eliminate the topping from the pizza, $2 back. But here, if you want to add the pizza, if you want to add the topping, we charge $2 more. Okay, for this pizza, okay, if you do not want any topping, we give $2 back. In which group people end up with more topping? The research shows that, okay, in A group, which were presented, in which to which this the combination pizza was presented, end up with more number of topping than this one. Okay, the some theoretical explanation about this is like the people actually have like so-called the endowment effect. When the topping with five, I'm sorry, pizza with five topping was presented, okay, people feels like they've already owned this the topping, okay. When we have to eliminate, okay, some part of the pizza, which is topping, okay, they feel like this the topping seems a lot more valuable than $2. Okay, so they end up with like keeping the topping instead of getting $2 back for the topping. Okay, so for the group number B, right? Group number B, they just do not want to add, like if they do not want to add the topping, okay, they just like stays with like a no topping and try to save the $2 or something like that. This like their starting point is like totally different, right? This group is like their starting point is like already the combination pizza with all of the five toppings on already on the pizza. We actually show the picture like this, the plain pizza. Okay, when they have like a starting point with like some complete product, okay, they do not want to eliminate certain feature for the same level of the money. Okay, that is what we call endowment effect. I don't think like I can give you another example in the classroom, my personal example. But however, okay, that is basically this is the in fact the Nobel economic prize winning theory. That is what we call the part of uh, the prospect theory, 전망이론 in Korea. Okay, the part of the price part of prospect theory is called the endowment effect. Endowment effect is I've already got endowed. Okay, once we have like a possession of the product, okay, the product becomes like a lot more important than me. Okay, we can also apply this endowment effect in the auction. Actually, I have some personal story about it. I actually had an experience in the eBay auction. Okay, so I found like one nice T-shirt which I lost like 20 years ago, right? So I just like I found the exactly same T-shirts like the band Cure. There was like a band name Cure, Cure. I had the that T-shirts in the eBay. It looks great. Okay, so I wanted to get that back because I lost it. To be honest, I think like my sister stole it from me. So I saw the exactly same T-shirts that I owned, like say 20 years ago. I wanted to buy that one again. Okay, so I make a bid in the eBay. Okay, at that time that nobody was around in the auction, so I just like a slightly right. Say I just like enter. They say $5. Okay, for the T-shirts. Okay, nobody was around. Nobody was in the auction. So I think like I thought I could buy the T-shirt at $5. Okay, so my heart was racing because like uh, so during those almost like a week, okay, those auction period is about like 7 days, okay, until the sixth day, nobody was in the auction. So I thought like I successfully purchased, okay, I successfully purchased that the T-shirts at $5. I thought like I could be winner in the auction. However, in the last day, okay, some people actually getting into the auction, all right? So they charge like they actually bid $5.50. I was got surprised. Okay, I was the highest bidder for like 6 days, and some guy enter and they can make a bid at $5.50. I instantly bid a higher price like a $6. And some other guy has bid like a $6.50. Okay, it's just like an escalator. Usually that t-shirts about cost like a $13. So I thought $13 was like my maximum bid. Okay, but suddenly lots of people that gathered in that auction, and the bidding price is like already higher than the $13, 14 and 15. Okay, so I actually my final bidding was like $18. Yeah, and there was no other bidding, so I thought like I could buy that t-shirt at $18. That is way higher than my initial budget, but yeah, I thought it worked. But just a couple of seconds before that the auction expired, okay, the people, some other guys actually bid like $19, so he got that t-shirt. Okay, you don't know that how much I devastated after that auction is over, because like for the 6 days, right? I could, I thought I owned the t-shirts for 6 days. Okay, and when other guy is like a bidding higher than me, you know what kind of thinking as goes around in my head? I thought like that guy is like trying to steal my t-shirts. In fact, that t-shirt is nobody's t-shirt, right? That is like auction product. But since like I was a highest bidder for the 6 days, okay, I thought like that guy is like trying to steal my t-shirts. That is why I actually bid higher than my original budget. That happens, okay? That is exactly what endowment effect plays in, right? That, just think about that. With that theory, and do you think like this the optional pricing is effective pricing strategy? No. Okay. The car maker wants to sell the more part or more features. If you want to end up with a car, if you want to end up with selling a car with more number of the feature like this, then you need to present it like a fully loaded car, fully load, fully loaded, fully loaded car at like a 25K. But if you do not need air conditioner, I'm gonna give you $1,000 back. If you do not need auto transmission, I'm gonna give you $1,000 back. Just exactly like a pizza number 8. If you do this, okay, the customer ends up with more number of features. That is the research result. So we don't really believe that optional product pricing is the effective way. Okay, let's move on. The next one is captive product pricing. Okay, the captive product pricing is like you sell the certain base product at lower price, but you try to make profit with supplies. Okay, it is something like yeah, I do not have that prop, but I do have like that prop in my. Let me get that prop. Okay, I do have it. Okay, I don't have like a perfect prop for this, but hey, this is what a razor, all right? This is the disposable. Okay, so you cannot actually detach this razor blade. Do I? Can I? No, you cannot detach this razor blade from the razor. However, if you, okay, or like your brother or like your father have this razor in home, okay, then the razor and the razor blade can be detached. Okay, say for example Gillette. Okay, when they introduce the new product, okay, say Gillette Fusion or something, their initial price, the price for the razor itself is the stick. Okay, the frame, it is very cheap in fact. Okay, then by asking the cheaper price for the customers, okay, that encourage, okay, the change the product, okay, upgrade the product. Previously I used the Gillette Maha 3, that works perfectly. But when they introduced the Gillette Fusion or something, all right, well, it looks like the price is like affordable, or looks like a better product, and I moved to the I moved to the Gillette Fusion and throwing out the Maha 3, okay, and later on they increased the price for the razor blade, okay. I have to pay the high price for the razor blade. This razor blade is almost like a more than like 10,000 K per one blade, right? So Gillette is actually making money by selling the razor blade, not the razor. But we cannot use the Maha 3 razor blade, right? Because like both Maha 3 and the Fusion is not compatible. So you sell the main product at cheaper price, but you try to make a profit with the supplies. That is captive product pricing, right? They say that Hewlett Packard is also following the same strategy. They sell the printer at affordable price, but they try to make like a profit with a toner, all right? Something like that. In the service, this strategy is also called like a two-part pricing. Just to think about as a theme park, okay? It is not really common practice in Korea, but I suppose, okay, suppose we have like the theme park charge entrance fee, okay, and the fee for each ride, okay. You pay, say, so if they have like a two price, when you enter the say Lotte World, you pay for the entrance fee, okay. And if you want to ride the Mario ride or something, all right, then you pay again, okay. If you want to ride the roller coaster, you pay again. That is two-part pricing, okay. And suppose, okay, there is a two. Let me ask you a question. There is a two situation. Let me slow down a little bit. Two situation. The situation one is that there is no entrance fee. Okay, the only fee for the ride. The second one is there is entrance fee, but not too much, like 10,000 K. Okay, but you lower the price a little bit for each ride. Okay. In which case people do you think ends up with more number of ride, or like people ends up with high spending, people pays more people spend more in that theme park. The case number one is like with they pay the people number one. The case number one is like there is no entrance fee, only fee for the ride. Case number two is people have to pay the entrance fee, small amount, but they can take a ride at a little bit discounted price. Yeah. Case number two. Case number two has like a lot more money. People spend like a lot more money in the case number two with the entrance fee. Because think about this, guys. If the theme park does not charge entrance fee, okay, people like me just like enter the theme park for free, okay, just like sitting in the lawn and eating my the kimbap, okay, right, and then spend some time and looking around the scenery, and I can go home. I can do that, right? No, but what if like I pay the entrance fee? If I pay the entrance fee, okay, I have like some kind of urge. I have to do something else than eating my lunchbox, bento, or toshirak, whatever you call. Okay, since I've already paid the entrance fee, I got to do something which is uniquely which is unique to that theme park, right? I want to have a unique experience which I cannot have the outside of theme park, right? That kind of mentality makes you people spend more in the theme park. So, in fact, okay, charging the people the entrance fee is in fact like more profitable for the theme park. Okay, the one thing you need to keep that in your mind is like sunk cost is not the cost. All right. So in this theme park example, I don't think like people behave rationally. It's like that. Okay. In the business, lots of people think like try to salvage the sunk cost. Okay, let me tell you a story. Some industry, okay, try to they spend some money, for example, $10,000 for the market research, okay, and they just wanted to know that whether market there is a market or not for their product. They spend like some money, say, let's say that 10,000, $100,000. Okay, and as a result, the research shows that the research firm come back to you and like, hey client, the market situation is not so good. Okay, I strongly recommend you to not to enter the market. That is like the result, the variable result you get from the market research firm for the $100,000. But once you get that news, you might feel like, hey, if I don't enter the market, why should I? Why should I spend like $100,000 for the market research? That is what a waste. They might feel that way. Okay, and we are all rational people, and those entrepreneurs try to enter the market to recoup the the money they've already spent. Okay, so then result is what? They lose more money in that market because like as a result shows that there is no market for your product. Okay, that is mistake, right? But a lot of people actually making that kind of mistake in their life, right? So yeah, some cost is not the cost. Okay, I know that just to think about this, you guys, you might suppose that you realize that you have like a very good talent in the song making or singing. Okay, and come to think about that, hey, I'm in the business department in the Chungang University, and I studied a lot to enter this school, and I become like a business student. That if I become like a songwriter, why should I started that much in the high school? Since like I studied a lot and I successfully entered the Chungang University, so I shouldn't be a songwriter. This is stupid line of logic at all. Okay, sunk cost is not the cost. Okay, you don't need to think about what you have done. Okay, that is already sunk in the ground, right? It should not affect your current optimal decision, right? But again, as if as customers are doing lots of irrational things, okay, we make lots of irrational decisions in our life. Okay. By the way, all right. Okay, you guys need to do the exam case. Okay, that I'm going to. I also posted the question for the exam, right? Okay, I'm telling you. Okay, this captive product pricing has some application for the exam. Okay, I want to keep that in your mind. A couple of things for the exam. Okay, this exam or serious. Okay, they are way before the product launching stage. Okay, they don't have a product in the market yet. Okay, they have a little bit different stage in the pre-production stage, but okay, they do not have the product in the market yet. That is same for the two company, right? And second, okay, the XM or Sirius is like broadcaster. They sell the radio broadcasting service. They do not make profit from selling the radio. Sony or Toshiba makes the radio. Okay, the profit from radio selling, okay, is not calculated as their profit, XM's profit or revenue at all. Okay, XM or Sirius is not radio manufacturer. However, okay, this radio and the radio machine and radio service is kind of connected like a captive product pricing. Okay, just to think about this. Nobody used the razor blade alone. Okay, they got to have a razor attached by this razor blade, right? If you want to do the shaving, right? If you want to, okay, listen to the say XM service, you got to have the radio in the first place. So the price for the radio has something to do with the demand for the radio service. Again, the price of the radio machine has impact on demand for the radio service. In that sense, okay, that is something like a captive product pricing. Okay, you got to think about this fact to set up the optimal pricing for the XM service. Okay, right? Okay, next one is like a byproduct pricing. Byproduct pricing is like some product you can get in the middle in the making something else. Okay, for example, say the spine of the pork is the byproduct of like pork meat. Okay, they just like butcher the pork. Okay, and they get the all the variable part like pork belly or loins, and nobody likes the spine of the pig, right? But instead of like throwing that out, we can actually put that in the 감자탕, right? Pork bone soup. Okay, since like the pork spine is otherwise thrown away, we can actually set up the very cheap for the say 감자탕. Right, that is the byproduct pricing. Another example, that the byproduct, we can actually we need to think about what is the second use for the product. To make the bourbon, like I said, I'm a whiskey fan, but I don't like a bourbon. To make the bourbon, okay, you should not reuse the bourbon cask. Once you make like a bourbon, the bourbon cask, 수통, got to be thrown away, or that is sold to the European whisk maker. Okay, they can reuse the bourbon cask. So the bourbon cask is not the only the cask that the Scottish distillery use. Okay, but some the Scottish distillery use like a double cask. Okay, they just like have the whiskey and put that the whiskey in the sherry oak for the certain period of time and move to the bourbon cask, which they imported from the United States. A double cask. Okay, that bourbon cask is like that they've already used to make a bourbon. Okay, in that sense, that is a byproduct. Okay, how much they price the bourbon cask, how much that bourbon distillery price their bourbon cask, that is the byproduct pricing. They shouldn't actually charge too high, right? Otherwise, they have to throw it away. Right? The product bundling pricing is like okay, that is like a price for the combination. That is bundling pricing. Usually, okay, we bundled not quite popular product together. Okay, and like sell it as a combinations as a bundle, right? It's like last time when my kids was very young, okay, like 4 years old or 5 years old. Wow, I still want to go back to those days. If I could go back to those days, I could be better father. I think like all of your father might think that the same way. All right, at that time, my son asked me to purchase like a Nintendo, not 동물의 숲, Nintendo DX at the time. It's a long time ago, like 15 years ago. So I was like traveling a lot at the time, and so I went to the duty-free shop and I wanted to buy the Nintendo DX. Okay, Nintendo DX is like this, right? It's like, but I know that DX machine alone cannot be played. You have to have like a game pack, right? So I know that I wanted to buy the game pack. So I know that is the Super Mario is one of the popular game. So so I wanted to I look around to find the Mario game pack, but I saw some product, some Nintendo DX was actually bundled, okay, with one Super Mario game pack. So price was like the Nintendo DX machine, that platform, what do you call? Um, DX machine is like $200. Game pack was like a $50. But when you actually combine that as a bundle, okay, the price was like a 230. Hey, so I thought like it's gonna be good deal, right? Uh, Better deal than like buying the Nintendo DX and the game pack separately, right? So I paid 230 and purchased the bundled product. I gave it to my son, and he said, "Hey, it's like I got you the DX, and I have like a Super Mario too." And my son told me that almost yell at me like, "Hi, Dad, this is not Super Mario. What is it? That is not Mario. That is Wario." Okay, Wario is actually legitimate game character of Nintendo. Okay, the Wario, this king of these guys, the Wario change himself to have like some supernatural power. All right, that if they become like a arty Wario, he can draw a door in the wall. Then suddenly the wall becomes the door. They can go to the beyond the wall or something like that. But Dragon Warrior, if they turn to the Dragon Warrior, he can throw the fire or something like that. Hey, Wario is legitimate character. However, it is safe to say that it's a lot less popular than Mario, right? So by bundling less popular product to the popular product, okay, the manufacturer wants to increase the total revenue. That is the one key of the bundling. One example of the bundling that set aside of the combining the burger and fry and the Coca-Cola, that is also bundling, right? When I was your age, okay, there was very popular that there was some product which is only sold in the product bundle, not separately. But now we can buy that product one by one or something like that. That is the song, okay? In the song, right? Yeah, I got top. Okay, when I was your age, right, like early 90s, right? We had a CD, okay? I don't have a CD, but I have a vinyl LP, right? This is the Beatles Abbey Road, okay? And this one album has is about like how many songs in there? We have about like uh, hey, we have almost like a 18 song in here. The 18 song was bundled in one LP. You cannot purchase song by song at that time. But now, due to the different technology, we can purchase as a single song, right? Yeah, I know in the United States, maybe in the Europe, there was like a single LP or in the single album, but in Korea there was no single album. You had to buy 10 song or 10 song in a bundle. Usually, okay, only the two song is good, and the rest of them is like not so good. Okay, you combine less popular product with the popular product and then sell it as a bundle. Okay, otherwise the less popular product cannot be sold. Right, that is product bundling pricing. Right. Okay, all right. Okay, then let's talk about the price adjustment strategy. All right, the price adjust mostly. Okay, we're gonna talk about the discount. All right. Uh, all right. In the price adjustment, okay, the most popular one is probably in the discount, okay, and the discount you can actually the discount, uh, you can discount the money from the final price of product, okay. That is what we call the cash discount. Okay, cash discount is like a more general form, the cutting the price from the final product of the price. However, there is like another discount called quantity discount. The quantity discount is like you cut the price if you buy more. Okay, just like just to think about this. If you buy one bottle of the beer, say suppose that is $1. However, if you buy the six pack, you only pay $5, right? That is the quantity discount. Okay, the quantity discount you can do we can do the quantity discount toward the customer. However, the quantity discount becomes very handy tool to coordinating the conflict between the manufacturers and retailers. Okay, basically, okay, the manufacturer has the learning curve. Okay, they want to sell more because they want to produce more to lower the fixed cost per unit. Okay. However, the retailer do not have that kind of learning curve. They do, but they have like their learning curve has less impact on the pricing because they do not actually manufacturing it, right? So I usually, okay, the manufacturer wants to make profit through by the selling more volume. However, the retailer wants to make a profit by increasing the margin, okay, per one product. It ends up with like a manufacturer wants to lower the price, but the retailer wants to increase the price by nature, right? That actually caused the discrepancy and the conflict between the manufacturer and the retailers. Okay, how to coordinate that, right? One way to coordinate that kind of discrepancy is the quantity discount. Okay, so as a manufacturer, you might say to the retailer that, hey, I know that, hey, say I'm a say like manufacturer and to the retail, suppose the retailer is E-Mart. You just call the E-Mart that, hey, I know that it's like you guys are buying my $100 of our product at say $10 per box. Okay, but however, if you buy the $200, I can sell it at like a $9 per box. Okay, the retailer might think like that is good deal because they can lower the price, manufacturer's price. Okay, but once like a retailer purchase $200, okay, they cannot increase the price because they need to sell 100 more. Actually, doubled up. They need to double up the sales. Okay, which actually hold the price level lower to sell the more unit, more box, right? So it is the quantity discount. If they use the quantity discount, okay, that's gonna be say win-win situation for the retailer and the manufacturers, right? Okay, so the quantity discount can be used for the retailers. By the way, in fact, the the manufacturer has to do the lots of tactics, against retailers. The retailers are very tricky things. A retailer can be my partner, but it also can be my enemy too. Okay, we have lots of the conflict of interest between like manufacturer and the retailers. So if you want to promote the product, you need to promote the product to the retailer first. Whatever you do toward retailer, you call it trade. Okay, if you want to cut the price, okay, price for the consumer, okay, you can just call it like a cash discount. However, if you cut the price for the retailer, you call it trade discount. Again, whatever you do, toward the retailer, then you put like a word trade. Trade has nothing to do with international trade. It is not. It does not mean 무역. Okay, in Korean. Okay, so if you cut the price for the retailer, you call it trade discount. If you do the promotion toward retailer, you call it trade promotion. Okay, this trade is a little bit different, by the way. All right. So okay, the functional or trade discount is like if you want to like ask the retailer, okay, for the certain the marketing action, the special display or like a couponing or like putting your product on the say front page of the insert to the newspaper, jirashi in Korean. Okay, so we can sell it. We can say this way. Hey, Emart, if you, I know that you are on like you are doing some promotion, newspaper promotion. I know you do the insert in the newspaper. If you put our product on the first page of that insert, then I can cut the manufacturer's price. That is functional discount. For the people who read the textbook carefully, I think like this textbook didn't explain the concept correctly. Okay, say let's put it this way: if you cut the price, if you decrease, okay, if you cut the price for the unit of the product, we call it discount. And what is this allowance? Allowance is like just giving them a lump sum money. Okay, here the functional discount is like you are saying that hey, if you cut the price, okay, say I'm sorry, say if you put my product on the first page of the insert, okay, I'm gonna discount our product by 10%. That is functional discount. Okay, the functional allowance is like a same thing. Okay, you call it Emart and say, hey, if you put our product on the first page of insert, then I'm gonna give you 100 million won to do that. That is allowance. If you give lump sum money to the retailer, that is called allowance. That is promotional allowance. Okay, if you cut the price of your product, then you call it discount. So a functional discount and promotional allowance basically asking same thing. All right, the same thing. If the functional thing is a promotional, but difference is the discount is cutting the price of the product. Allowance is giving the lump sum money. Trade-in allowance is actually giving. It's a trade-in allowance is like when you drive a car. Okay, you want to buy a car, you just like give your existing car to the dealer. Okay, and they just like give some money to you, and they don't actually give the actual money to you because like they just like cut the price as much. Okay, that is the allowance. So this is more like a lump sum kind. When we say the allowance, that means like a lump sum money, some money. Okay, when you say the discount, that is like a product by product. Okay, cutting the price for the unit of the product. Okay, that is the difference. Okay. Okay, now the second one is the segmented pricing. Okay, the segmented pricing is like you set up the different price for the different segment. Okay, the segment can be the lots of things. First of all, you have like a consumer segment, right? One example of the consumer segment is like you lower you set up the different price for the female haircut and the male haircut. The customers are different, right? So, right? Or you might have like you might charge the different price for the rich people and poor people. Is that possible? You really want to charge higher price for the rich people and the lower price for the poor people for the exactly same product, right? How could it be possible? Maybe we can add just a little bit of the better image or like a more expensive image to the product for the rich people. Okay, and just like try to make like a high-end product and charge higher price. And for the base product, You just like sell it to the say poor people. Some people actually criticize that the fair trading coffee is just like that. Okay, the coffee beans are same. However, you can charge a higher price for the fair trade coffee because only rich people can purchase fair trade coffee. Okay, that is not what I'm thinking. It's like some critics actually criticize fair trade coffee in that way, right? Some people say that hey, that is simply price discrimination tactic. Like, it has nothing to do with like socially responsible behavior or something, you know. Okay. Also, product form pricing is like you set the different price for the different form of product. Okay, the Evian water. Okay, you can buy the Evian water at $2. However, if you put that same water in the water spray for your face, okay, you can charge a lot higher price, right? In fact, okay, even if like you consider the can price of the can, the spray Evian is way more expensive than just the drinking water. But think about that, waters are same, right? The location pricing, you can charge the same product, you can charge same product, okay, you can charge the higher money for the same product in the Gangnam area, or you can lower the price a little bit for the say in the Gangbuk area, rural part, urban part, price can be different, right? The time pricing, that is actually tricky thing. Okay, time pricing is like you discriminate the price depending on when the customer purchased the product. One popular example of this one is like airline, okay, air ticket for the airline, or like booking the hotel, okay. So if you purchase the ticket in advance, like a month or 2 months early, you can purchase the ticket for the airline at very low price, right? However, uh, if you are just like if you are very close to the departure time, okay, you have to pay higher money, right? That is time pricing. One popular thing, one example, the example I actually give you is like an airline and a hotel. Do you know what is the commonality between the airline and hotel? Yeah, those are all the traveling industry. But other than that, okay, the airline and the hotel both has the very high proportion of fixed cost in their cost structure. Just think about it. What is the variable cost? What is the variable cost for the hotel or airline? The variable cost vary. All right. What is the variable cost? The variable cost is the cost which vary over different number of the customers, right? See, what is the variable cost if I book into the hotel? I just like use some electricity and the water. That's it. Right? Maybe the room maiding, right? That's it. There is no cost involved to hosting one more people. The variable cost is almost zero. Airline is also is similar to that. The only meal, okay, or a little bit more consumption of the fuel, that is the only the variable cost. Okay, so when the variable cost is like almost zero, okay, the P price minus variable cost, what we call this, that is the contribution margin, right? To calculate the P minus variable cost, when the variable cost is almost like a zero, price just like become the contribution margin. Okay, in this case, okay, you need to host like as many customer as you can to fill up to utilize your facility 100%. That is the best way to increase the profit. Okay, you want to fill the hotel up with all the customers in there, because you have to pay your fixed cost anyway, right? If that is the case, okay, you just like vary the price in terms of time, okay. Uh, choose making the optimal, okay, time pricing is also called the revenue management or yield management. If you are interested in this area, okay, so you study operational research or like 운영 관리, operation management. This is more like a production and operation management area, marketing and management science area. Okay. Okay, if you want to do the segmented marketing, certain condition exists. Okay, obviously the market got to be segmentable. If you cannot make segmentation, how can we use the segmented pricing? Okay, and also basically segment must show the different demand. Okay, that is the bottom line of segmentation, right? The pricing must be legal. Okay, you cannot actually lower price too much. Okay, or some people call it you are doing the predatory pricing, right? And the cost of the segmentation should not exceed revenue, obviously, okay? And segment pricing must reflect the real difference in the customer's perceived value. This is like, again, the bottom line for the segmentation, right? So if you can do the segmentation successfully, and if you believe that, okay, their perceived value differs across the different segmentation, then you can do the segmented pricing. Okay. This psychological part, we've already covered this part, right? And the promotional part, okay. Let's talk about like the price adjustment, okay, and the promotional price adjustment. All right. You can temporarily adjust your price of the product for the certain purposes. Okay, let's talk about the second one first. You have like a special event pricing. It's like a say black the Black Friday pricing, Black Friday discount. That is special event pricing, only lasts for the say short duration, temporarily. Okay, and cash rebate, okay, you can the manufacturer also return certain portion of the price, right? Why ever think about why does the manufacturer do the price rebate? What is the difference between the cash rebate and discounting? The answer is actually simple. The cash discount is like something that retailer does, or even if like a manufacturer wants to do the discounting, okay, you cannot do it alone. You only do the price discounting only with the cooperation of retailers. If the retailer does not help you, you cannot do the discounting. However, rebate, you can do that alone. Okay, you just like give some coupon and you have some insert and the notification of the rebate in the box. Okay, if you return this one, I'm gonna give you the $10 back. The manufacturer can cut the price without the help from the retailers. That is why we do the rebate. Okay, or the low interest financing. Okay, a monthly payment, and we give like a lower interest, longer warranty, free maintenance. Okay, that is all considered as the promotional price adjustment. However, just to think about this, loss leader. This is really interesting stuff. Okay, loss leader. In Korean, I don't know what is the formal translation for the loss leader, but loss leader is like a Mickey 상품, a bait and switch kind of stuff in Korea, right? Loss leader is, okay, you just like lower the price for the certain product, okay, but you try to cover the loss by selling some other product. That is loss leader. Okay, let me give you an example. In the United States, okay, we have like they have the Thanksgiving, right? You know what is the popular product for the Thanksgiving dinner? That they eat the turkey, right? So uh, around the Thanksgiving, okay, the retailer decreased the price for the uh, turkey. But people who come to the grocery or supermarket to purchase to prepare for the Thanksgiving dinner, you think like they only purchase the turkey? They also purchase something else. They also buy a beer or ham or like cranberry. They buy a lots of things. Okay, and so you increase the retailer decrease the price for the turkey, okay, but you increase the price just a little bit for the beer and cranberry or ham or bread to cover the loss caused by the discounting the turkey. That is the loss leader pricing. To find out, okay, the to executing this loss leader pricing requires, okay, that you need to find out what is the best product for the loss leading for loss leader product. In other words, you need to find out the turkey like a product. So I give you in the example like the American Thanksgiving. What if like we have Chuseok, okay, Mid Autumn Festival, 中秋节 in Chinese, right? If you have like a Chuseok, okay, what's gonna be like the perfect loss leading product? The loss leading product, it got to be the most popular product. Everybody wants that product. I don't know what that can be. What can it be? Okay, in among the dishes or food we prepare for the Chuseok Mid Autumn Festival. That is why I'm using the Thanksgiving example. If you can find that, if you know that what is that product for the loss leading, then you cut the price for that one, and then you increase the price for the something else. Okay, to find out, let me give you some certain conditions to find out this loss leading product. The product for the loss leading got to be the traffic generator. Okay, in other words, if you that product got to be very popular. So if you cut the price for that product, everybody is like surge into the your store. That product is like the best product for the loss leading, like a turkey, essential product. Okay, what is the essential product in the Chuseok? I don't know, right? Maybe fruits or like a fish fillet, fish, I don't know, right? But there is an interesting observation in the marketing. Okay, there is like some relation between like 기저귀, diaper, and beer. The people found out that, okay, they investigated a shopping cart, and the investigator or researcher found that lots of product, lots of basket, okay, has the both diaper and beer together. Okay, for the say 100 cart which has the diaper, okay, lots of the shopping cart also has beer, which means that the beer and the diaper and the beer is interconnected, but we don't know which cause which. Okay, if you want to investigate it like a cause and effect kind of relationship, like 인과관계, what do you think would be cause and what is the effect? It is not like the customers are mindlessly pick up both. Okay, I believe that it is sequential process. Which product do you think purchase first, and which one is later? Can you guess? I think the direction is gonna be some this way. Okay, the fact that just to think about this, the fact that they have a diaper, 기저귀 in the cart. Okay, it is highly likely that shopper is gonna be male, because the female mom is at home to taking care of their infant. So when the kids is very young, okay, the lot of husband is going to the shopping, okay. So those the fathers, okay, when the father pick up the diaper, they just like realize all the agony or hassle involved in like changing the diaper. Okay, the kids like pee on your face or sometimes into your mouth. That is stressful. Yeah, that is fun stress, but yeah, that maybe cause some agony. Okay, and that it leads that the poor father to the beer store and they pick up a couple of beers from the beer shelf. Then this the diaper is caused and the beer is effect. You think like it can work that the other way around? People goes to the beer shelf first. After they pick up some beer, they suddenly realize that they have to buy a diaper because the beer makes them pee. It doesn't make sense, right? So logically, okay, this diaper is cause and beer is like an effect. Where do you want to set in what product you want to set the loss leader pricing? Yeah, you have to make the diaper as a loss leader product in this relationship. Okay, yeah. But one more thing, if you think like the diaper and the beer relationship is so strong, I mean, so it, if the says correlation, okay, interconnectedness. I don't know whether you know the correlation, but the relationship between like the diaper and the beer is like just in the medium range. For example, you investigated the 100 shopping cart and you investigate 100 the diaper shopping cart, 100 shopping cart with diaper, and you found like a 50 shopping cart has a beer. Then probably in the aisle in the retailer, you want to put you want to set those the shopping aisle close to each other. So if you say the shopping shelf for the diaper is over here, then you want to put like a beer refrigerator nearby. Then the people who pick up the diaper quickly pick up the beer over here. However, if this relationship is so strong, it's 95 or something, then you might think about different retail strategy. If this is the case, you say you need to keep the location, the position of the two products as apart as possible. If you put like a diaper shelf over here and the beer refrigerator over there, then once they pick up the diaper, they just like moving around to find the beer. Okay, and during their trip, they pick the other product from the different aisle. Okay, so it depends on the level of or like a magnitude of the interconnectedness relationship. Okay, but the promotional pricing, like I said, has the adverse effect. Okay, the promotional pricing is like easily copied by competitor, and it creates deal-prone customers. Okay, again, like if you do the promotional pricing too frequently, it lower the reference price. Okay, and then if you go back to the original price, it just people think like the marketer is increasing price instead, right? The too frequent promotional pricing, okay, may erode the brand name. Okay, it cannot be the legitimate substitute for the effective strategic planning. Okay, it also leads to the price war. Okay, between the firm. The promotional pricing, that is like the last resort. Okay, you don't really want to think about this as your first tactic. Okay, if there is nothing you can do, then you think about the cutting the price. As a student, the marketing student, that is why I'm saying that the price cut is not the options. Okay, you got to think about other marketing tools instead of the cutting, simply cutting the price. Okay, um, the price cutting, the promotional price cut has lots of the adverse effects. In fact, say just to think about this. Okay, if the price is like moves up and down like this. Okay, by the way, this is what we call high low pricing. Yeah, we just spell this way, high low pricing. If you, okay, move the price up and down, the customer can study about this behavior. So when the product is, when the price is high, they don't buy it. Okay, when the price goes down, they actually stack up $2, something like this. Suppose that this is Coca-Cola can, okay, and a certain guy consume $1 per month, but he also knows that, okay, the retailers are alternating the high price and the low price over a month. Okay, this is January, this is February, March, and they realize that, okay, when the price is high in the January, they know that the price goes down in the February. When February comes, they actually purchase $2. And when the price goes up in the March again, hey, they don't buy it. And the price goes down in the April, they also buy $2. It's something like this. Apparently, it looks like when the retailer decreases the price, sales goes up. However, the increase in the sales is like a not legitimate thing. They're just like a stacking up for the future consumption. Or in here, they actually postpone their purchase till the next month because they know the price goes down. The high-low pricing looks working. However, it is not. Okay, so in the Walmart like a store, they don't do the high-low pricing. They just like, even if like they increase or decrease the price, their margin of the increase or decrease is very small, and something like this. Okay, this one is also called everyday low pricing, EDLP. The EDLP is like a slogan for the Walmart. Okay, for the say long-term perspective, EDLP is better than high-low. High-low is effective to boost up the quick response. However, it is not really good in the long-term perspective. This the price cut, promotional price cut is like another prop. It is like a Red Bull energy drink. How people get energized after drinking this energy drink. Energy drink is actually make the people open the energy reservoir that is reserved for the next day or like 5 hours later. It just like open up the energy reservoir and just like use it in advance. Okay, that is why we get very tired. We have like a withdrawal effect after a couple of hours after we drink the energy drink, right? Price cut is like that. Okay, energy drink make you a junkie. Okay, price cut, price promotion makes you a price cut junkie. Okay, it is not quite recommendable. That is for sure. Okay. Let's move on to the last topic, price change. Okay, the previously, okay, we also talk about the price adjustment. Okay, but the price when we say the price adjustment, that is more like a short-term oriented stuff. Okay, that discount is short-term oriented stuff. Okay, but long-term adjustment, okay, that is what you call price change. Okay, it is not temporary stuff. Okay, we just like a change the price for the longer duration of the time. When we change the price for the longer duration of the time, okay, we need to think about whether we cut the price or increase the price, right? When do we cut the price? Because when the company has the excess capacity, and so we need to sell more product, then we cut the price. Okay, and if our market share is like going down, then we also cut the price. And then likewise, if you want to increase the market share and try to be market leader, then you also cut the price too. Right? When do we increase the price instead? Okay, if you want to increase the profit, obviously, okay, or we have to increase the price when we have a cost inflation, or if we have like a higher demand than our say capacity, we can increase the price. Okay, and but if we increase when but even if like in this case, okay, suppose that increasing the increasing the price uh, can have some pressure on the firm, because like the competitor keep their product price as low. Okay, in that situation we cannot actually increase the price, right? So we need to think about some alternatives to the increasing the price. Okay, uh, even if like so the even if we face with cost inflation, okay, if we can explore more cost effective production or distribution, we can keep the price at lower level, right? Without increasing the price. Or instead of increasing the price, we can reduce the product size. The choco pie in Korea, okay, they didn't actually change the product size too much, okay, but they didn't change the price too much. However, they actually make the choco pie smaller and smaller. That is the example. Or like we can remove the feature of certain function of the product, or like we can unbundle the product. We don't have like a styler for the the handphone. You have to purchase styler separately. That is unbundling, right? To lower the cost. Now, right? When we have to, like, we can try this one, all right? We try this one, but no, we cannot actually we cannot do all the things. Suppose that we cannot actually do the things. The only thing is like changing the price. Um, Before you do that, still before you change the price, okay, you need to consider two more things. Okay, you got to think about like what would be the buyer's reactions. Okay, can we increase the price? If we increase the price, this market is so price sensitive, price elastic market. So lots of people is going to stop using our product, run away from our product. If that is the case, you cannot actually increase the price. Okay, right? Well, what if like we lower the price then? Okay, so think like you want to, right? You want to lower the price to boost up your sales. Okay, then before you lower the price to increase your market share, right? You got to think about the competitors' reaction, because you lower the price to increase the market share. What if your competitor also lower the price to match your product, match your price? Then the effect of the price cut disappears, right? So to guess what would be our competitor's reaction, okay, you need to actually study your market. When your competitor react promptly, the case number one, when the number of firm is small, okay, your competitor will follow your trap. Your competitor will mimic your strategy. In other words, your competitor also cut the price. Because just to think about this, if suppose we have like 100 company and you change the price, okay, one company out of 100 company change the price, and your competitor would not promptly react to your price change. But suppose you are in the say duopoly, two company, right? Then if you decrease the price, This information is so visible to the competitors, and in fact, the competitor has nothing to do. I mean, cannot help decreasing their price because there's only two guys, you and him, right? If the number of companies small, okay, your competitor react more quickly, follow what you're doing. Or product is uniform. When the product is uniform means that all the product look is about same. Your product and your competitor's product is about the same. Then if you decrease the price, okay, then the price is the only difference between your product and your competitor's product, and your competitors knows about it. Okay, if the product is all the same and you sell your product at lower price, then your competitor will cut their price too, because they know that people is going to buy your product. By the way, when the product is uniform, we call this one is the market. Your product is the your market becomes commodity. The commodity originally is referring to this as orange in general, or like oil in general, potato in general is the commodity future market. You ever heard of it? So the orange in general is like they do not have brand, right? When the product lose the brand equity and it ends up with like all the product from the different brand becomes same thing, perceived as same, then we call it the product becomes commodity. In this situation, yeah, price is the only differences. Okay. Again, when the buyers are well informed, again, when you decrease the price, and every buyers knows about you decrease the price, then your competitor got to follow your price cut, because otherwise all the buyer is going to buy your product, not competitors. Okay, and again, now let's talk about like what if like your competitor cut the price. Okay, then you first, before you make your reaction, okay, you need to think about why your competitor cut the price. They just like cut the price temporarily to sell off their inventory. If that is the reason, okay, you stays, okay, you don't cut your price, you don't cut your product. Again, okay, cutting the price is the last resort. Once you cut the price, it is very difficult to go back to your original price. Okay, if you believe that say your competitor's price cut is like a temporary price cut, then you don't follow that. Okay, you just stay high, right? But if their reason is like raising a war against you by cutting the price, then you have to react, right? And also, you need to evaluate the marketplace response to the price change. If the competitor's price cut, okay, invite lot more customers than before, if that is the case, okay, you have to cut the price. If the marketplace does not react well to the competitor's price cut, then again, you don't react, you stay high, right? You also need to consider your product strategy. You are keeping the luxury image for your product. If that is the case, okay, you should not cut the price. Your competitor cut the price and going to the lower market, and you just like to stay there. That is one thing you can do, right? And speaking of which, okay, and what if, okay, you decided to fight, okay, you decided to react to the competitor's price cut. The one thing you can do is like you can reduce the price, you can cut the price, okay? It is just like a fight fire with fire. Okay, you cut the price, I cut the price. That is one option. Or you raise the perceived quality and keep the price. Say again, perceived quality. Okay, when we say the perceived, it is not real quality, right? So you just keep all the price. You also keep all the product spec, okay, and just like try to impose the more luxurious image by running the luxury looking the advertisement or something like that. Okay, keep the product specification and try to just impose more expensive image. That is another thing. Okay, and the third one is like instead of like imposing just like a luxury image or like a better quality image, in this option you just in fact you improve the quality. Okay, you increase the product spec. Okay, product specification, you just like use the higher parts. Okay, the better part, a higher priced part, and it make the better product and increase the price. If you choose this option, okay, you just like goes to the entirely different place in the positioning. Okay, your competitor, okay, lower the price. Okay, lower. Here's the part. Here, suppose that here is the price and quality. Okay, your competitor just like goes to this direction by decreasing the price. Okay, by increasing both price and the quality. Okay, you are moving to this directions. Okay, if you stays here, okay, maybe this point will be dominated by this competitor's positions. To avoid that domination, you just like move over there. You cultivate different market. Or last tactic is like you send up your fighting brand. Suppose that say you are a vodka maker, Smirnoff vodka, and you have like a competitors, Popov. Okay, you, both Popov and the Smirnoff sells like their vodka at like $10, but suddenly Popov decreased the price to the $7. Instead of cutting the price uh, as the Popov did and going to the $7 market, okay, you stays at the $10, but you just like launch, you 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 launch the comparative fighting brand like Yevgeny. Okay, you just like stays here. Okay, you just stay here. As I say, Smirnov stays here. Okay, when Popov moves down, you just like place fighting brand Yevgeny. Okay, let the Yevgeny fight with Popov. Okay, or like maybe you can just like maybe the price for the Yevgeny as a $6, the Popov as $7. You let the Yevgeny fighting brand beat $7 Popov. When the Popov disappear in the market, then your Yevgeny fighting brand also disappears. That is the fate of the fighting brand. Why am I doing this? Again, decreasing price is very risky maneuver. Once you decrease the price, it is very difficult to go up. Okay, so instead of going down and fight yourself in the dog fight, you just like hire some hired gun, right, and let them fight with your nemesis, something like that. All right, okay, this is wrap up for the price. Okay, I guess I become a little bit tired at the end of this section, so I just like I murmured too much. Okay, I'm sorry about that, and suddenly become too tired. Okay, take care.